To remind everybody how it started off, what Lawrence is referencing between Elizabeth Warren and Mike Bloomberg. We'll go down to Chris after that.
I'd like to talk about who we're running against. A billionaire who calls women fat broads and horse-faced lesbians. And no, I'm not talking about Donald Trump. I'm talking about Mayor Bloomberg.
So that's how they got underway tonight. They brought haymakers for the first round. Chris Matthews, you're at the venue watching along with us in Las Vegas. What'd you make of it?
Well, I never saw anything like it. It was the Roman Coliseum. It was boxing in the 1950s. You wait for the other guy, Carmen Basilia or something like that, to get a cut over their eye, and then you keep punching the cut over their eye over and over and over again. That's what they did to Bloomberg. That's what Elizabeth Warren did to Bloomberg. She knew his weakness was the NDA, and she kept punching the spot, and it kept bleeding and bleeding. He had no way to stop. He didn't have a cut man. He should have had somebody before the event, the bout tonight, to warn him, this is what they're going to hit you on, and they're going to keep hitting you on it till you answer, release the women or something. I think that's what it was about tonight. What we saw, though, is also Elizabeth Warren, who was really doing the punching. She came back tonight. I think she's fought herself back into third place, maybe better, maybe second out here. I think she's probably disappointed that she wasn't tougher in New Hampshire. Everybody said that she wasn't the fighter. She was the fighter tonight. I believe she hit every other single candidate. I don't know if she made her way to Biden. If not, it's only because she didn't think it was worth it. She hit every other candidate hard, really hard. And I think it was because she has to get her position back in the top tier. I also thought Buttigieg would not lay up on Klobuchar. He wouldn't lay it up on the fact she didn't know the president of Mexico. He kept punching her weak spot, her wound, over and over again. It was the boxing match in which nobody pulled back and said, enough. And nobody clinched. Everybody kept fighting. I'll tell you, I think Trump probably likes the look of it. I'm not sure he's right. On first view, it looks awful and bloody. Everybody attack each other, circular firing squad, all those cliches. But maybe what we saw there was a lot of passion.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.